great.
That
Ah,
who couldn't like this podcast, Jason?
I don't know.
We've got burps, we've got soup,
I don't like it.
inside comedy knowledge. You don't like it? Hey man, I thought we were in this together, dude.
No, it's all you.
Damn it. Just keeping you around to do all the work.
What are we going to talk about if our guest is not here? Which, if you join us on the stream here, yeah, our guest has not gotten here yet.
Yeah.
It could be a
Hey,
very real possibility that we got our times messed up.
and it's not my fucking fault because I reminded him, I sent him the Zoom link, and he's been very responsive to my emails. So I thought for sure he was going to be here. So
Maybe he's high.
I don't know. Maybe. I wouldn't doubt it though, because I've stopped doing the math for people. I just send them 6:30 p.m. CST. You do that math, buddy.
Yeah.
So maybe
you,
he
you can look
did
it
the
up.
math wrong.
You can go on Google and be like, if it's 6 o'clock Central, what time is
Yeah.
it for me?
It's still hard though.
You can do
It's
it right
difficult.
there on your phone.
I That's what I did when I had that interview with Rob Liefeld. And I called him 2 hours early and woke him up. And then his agent was like, "Yeah, he had a family emergency." I'm like, "No, he didn't." I just woke him up and now he's pissed.
Hold on, let me fix this background real quick. I'm gonna take off, put that one on, take this. Oh, not that one. God, I have too many backgrounds.
Yeah, you do.
Wait, that's not the one I want either. Go away,
Um,
background.
hey, if he doesn't show up, let's do our Halloween episode that we didn't do.
Yeah, we could do that. All right, let me turn off this webcam. There we go. All right. Hey, where's my open micers at?
Right here, boy.
Yeah, boy. Where the hell
I've,
is it at? Hold on.
Before this podcast, I got insulted when people called me an open micer. And now if someone calls me an open micer, I'm like, "Do you listen to my podcast?" They're like, "No, you just suck."
Where the hell is my background at? Like, it should have been. No, that's not it. That's not it. You're getting a live, real time. Here we go. There it is right there. If you're watching this, you're watching us use Streamlabs in real time. This is how it works, folks. Especially when
Inside baseball.
when you don't have a producer and you got to do it yourself.
We should get an intern, unpaid intern.
Yeah.
Even though we're both kind of unpaid interns.
Where's BJ?
Yeah,
make him do it. He pays to listen to the show,
Yeah.
and he's gonna have to work for us.
He gives us money and we make him work for us. That sounds like a great relationship.
That's
to me.
how the world works now, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much, dude. You have to have a bachelor's degree to be an unpaid intern at the local news stations.
That's weird, dude. Did I tell you that a couple of years ago I applied to be? Oh, wow. Wait, hold on. I'm still messing with stuff. Sorry. A couple of years ago, I applied to be a segment producer at the local TV station.
Yeah.
Got the job. Went for the interview. Got the job. Had the credentials. And got the job, and I asked the question. I was like, "So, what does it pay?" I'm thinking they're going to say at least somewhere between 15, maybe $18 to $20 an hour.
Big boy job.
What would be your guess for a segment producer
I mean, for a local news station,
Yeah,
for a local news station, not in a big city, something like that. I would say like, at least $15 an hour.
at least $15 an hour, at least with benefits.
Yeah.
Some benefits. I'm not looking for like huge benefits, but some dental would be nice.
Yeah. at least 50,000 a year.
Yeah, at least $9 an hour.
Yeah.
I
That's fast food.
I looked at the dude and I was like, "Are you serious?" He was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Dude, I can go. I'm literally making more than that at my job at the time. The last job I was at before this one. I was like, I'm making more than that. Why would I leave my job making almost double that to come work here to not have set hours, have to be on call all the time, and basically work my ass off. And you want me to do that for $9 an hour? I can go to McDonald's and make more than that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's like fast food rates. Like you can get a job at a fast food place that pays more than that.
Yeah.
And probably get better hours too.
People wonder why nobody wants to freaking work nowadays. Let me tell you why. Nobody wants to eat shit for $9 an hour. I'm sorry. Nobody wants to do it.
I'm doing it, but it's out of necessity. I don't want to be doing it. But yeah, I make $9 an hour. So
yeah. But you're still young though. You're still like 21. And you're in school.
I'm in debt too.
But you're in school. You're bettering yourself. Well,
that's true.
Bettering yourself.
Hey, man. Hey, look, dude. I'm getting an education, bro. All right.
But yeah, you're bettering yourself. One of these days, you're gonna work yourself up the ladder and make a decent living. I mean, that's
hopefully
how things are supposed to work. When you're my age, you do not go to work for for $9 an hour anywhere.
Yeah. You're ridiculous.
It's stupid. Like that, you can't even live on that. I would have to work, dude, just to pay my rent. Let's do a little math here.
All right. I would rather not, but go ahead.
At $9 an hour, okay? Let's say I work 40 hours a week. 9 times 40, okay? That's $360 a week, okay? And let's just throw out that I would have to pay $30 a week in taxes. So we're already down to $330.
Yeah, and it's going to be more than that.
Yeah, it's going to be more than that. I'm just saying. My job. I'm just throwing out a number here. So you work 4 weeks a month. That's $330 times 4 equals. Well, that is not $108,000 a month. What the hell? $330 times 4 equals $1,320. Did you freeze up or are you still there? I believe that Jacob has frozen. And what a wonderful picture it is. I'm going to have to clip that out and use that as his avatar from now on. It's raining outside here on the coast. So he said his power blinked. Awesome. Great. So I'll hang out here for a minute, and we'll see what happens. Yep, there he goes. So what's up, everybody? All right, well, we'll see what happens. All right, he's going to wait and see if his router comes back on, so I guess we're just going to hang out here for a minute and see what happens. I could go through some of my old soundboard clips here, see what I've got saved up. I have some old shows here, like we did Nightmare on Elm Street. Let's see what sound clips I have from that. I have something labeled fruitcake.
Did you do it?
I never touched her.
You were screaming like crazy.
There was somebody else there.
The door was locked from your side.
Don't look at me like I'm some fucking fruitcake or something.
Okay.
I'm warning you.
Just.
Here we go. I'm your boyfriend now, Nancy.
I'm your boyfriend now, Nancy.
Yeah. I got a lot of clips here from, and bad thing, I remember that movie was really low. Like you could barely hear anything. That's why all my clips are barely audible. Yeah, there we go. So we'll hang out here for about 5 minutes. If he's not back, we're just going to call it a night. Let me see if I can bring up YouTube. Let's look up 80s Halloween commercials. There we go. One of the top hits right there. Top 80s. Ooh. All right, I'm going to bring this up. Hold on.
Goodbye, Roman fees that rack up overseas.
There is.
Hello, automatic coverage when I'm exploring the world. Hello, Google Fi, a phone plan that can.
What's the matter, Charlie? Scared?
You can either ignore it, or you can try to stop it.
I'm not afraid of you. The devil is come home.
Genuinely terrifying.
Be afraid. Be very afraid.
Skip ad.
For Halloween, Toys R Us doesn't miss a trick, and the prices are a treat. We've got costumes for all Toys R Us kids, even grown-ups, and loads of candy, makeup, masks, and more. Toys R Us will make your Halloween supernatural.
Ever hear of a
Oh, oh.
into a soft drink? Oh, it can happen this Halloween. When you give out McDonald's Halloween gift certificates, kids take them to McDonald's and they get a McDonald's soft drink. Oh, what is that? A book of 20 Halloween gift certificates costs only $1. And can turn into 20 regular soft drinks. It must be the magic of Halloween.
Nobody can do it like McDonald's can.
Nobody.
Of the corn. A new kind of nightmare. An adult nightmare. Stephen King's Children
Ooh,
of the Corn.
Children of the
Rated R.
Corn.
Coming Friday. Check local newspapers
Coming
for theaters
Friday.
and showtimes.
My most perfect creation! Gee, I'll have to do something about that face.
Introducing Spooky Goop. Horrifying monster
Spooky
makeup
Goop,
you
y'all.
make up at home. Spooky Goop's
That
hovering
sounds
lizard
lovely.
lips, bat bones, and toad toes create a ghoulish goo that makes a
I remember
monster
this
of a
commercial.
Now that's a face no mother could love.
Spooky Goop. Spine-tingling makeup for Halloween.
Spooky
Only on birthday
Goop.
occasion.
Special, filled with ghosties and ghoulies and things that go bump in the night.
It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown.
Monday at 8, 7 Central and Mountain.
The kids at
Ah,
home
there
still
he is.
don't know it yet, but something is coming to get
Something
them.
is coming. All right, let me turn that back off. There he is.
Lovely weather we're having, huh, Jason?
Yes, it is. It's okay. We were just watching some 80s Halloween commercials.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's what's gonna be shown
Yeah.
while I was reconnecting.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine with me. Yeah, my power decided to blink, and
That's lovely.
I have AT&T, so my router was like, we're not gonna work. But anyways, when I left, you did all that.
Actually, hold
you
on.
make.
Let me. All right, we're back. Jacob's
Okay.
back. This power went out because, it rained a little bit.
Hey, more than a little bit, dude. Okay, there's some storms out there, bro.
Oh, yeah. Are you eating soup? What are you eating?
Red beans, rice, and sausage.
Oh, okay. Sort of.
But it might
soup.
as well be. It might as well be soup.
It's
'cause
red. It's
pretty-
red. Redneck soup.
It's pretty soupy. It's pretty soupy today. I don't like it soupy, but it's pretty soupy.
All right, so back to the number crunching. If I was to work for $9 an hour and 40 hours a week, at the end of the month, I would have $1,320. My rent right now is $700, so minus
Oh my
$700.
god, dude. So you have $400 left after rent.
$620.
Okay. Yeah, I told you I don't like math. So
And then minus 250 for car. That leaves me with 370 minus 150 for insurance. Leaves me with 220. Still have to eat at some point and get gas. Oh yeah, electricity, which usually runs about 120 a month, minus 140. $80 minus internet, which is 65.
Oh my god.
Leaves it, that's $15.
$15.
I still haven't even eaten yet or gotten groceries.
Yeah, and God forbid too that you get sick and have to go to the doctor and pay a
that too.
copay.
Yeah, well, the $15 would be copay. So.
Yeah, that's the price of a copay is $15. Sometimes I pay a $30 copay. I'd just be fucked. I'm like, I got half.
Literally no way to live on anything less than like $15 an hour. There's just no way. You can call me a communist, pinko commie, libtard, but literally crunch the numbers. There's no way to survive on less than $15 an hour. And I live on the coast where it's relatively cheap to live.
Yeah, $700 is actually cheap rent.
Yeah, it's a townhouse. Basically, it's a 1-bedroom apartment.
Yeah, really cheap rent. Good for a little family too.
Well, if I wanted to get a 2-bedroom apartment or a 3-bedroom, then we're talking like $900 to $1,000 a month.
Yeah, I mean, and even on a $9 an hour salary, paying $700 rent, you're gonna have to have at least 2 roommates, and you only have 1 bedroom. So,
but if I was working at a restaurant, well, if I was working at McDonald's for $9 an hour, I could at least eat there.
I guess
I would worry about food.
Well, if you were a manager, so I've worked at McDonald's fairly recently. I worked at McDonald's in 2017, something like that, when I was fresh out of high school.
Mm-hmm.
And the managers get $10 an hour, and they get 1 comp meal. Like, that's what you get if you're a manager.
Ugh.
Yeah. Which, granted, the managers just made food for themselves and stole it.
Yeah.
But
that's what I used to do.
If your boss is there, you can't really do that.
That's what I used to do at the Hard Rock when I was a grill cook. I would just steal food all the time because you had to pay for everything. They even have like these hamburgers that are meant for the employees. They're just like little, frozen patties that are almost like McDonald's burger size, and that's what you get like for free to eat. Like, it's nothing. If you want anything else, you have to pay for it. So I would just like, oops, I messed up this burger or a piece of chicken.
Yeah, I made minimum wage working at Pizza Hut, but I made up for it with the amount of wings that I ate and Diet Pepsis that I stole. So we're all even. Pizza Hut. And the night I knew I was gonna quit, I took everything that was ready to go in the hot box.
What's the best way you've ever quit a job?
That one's it, because I've had very few jobs, and when I quit McDonald's, my general manager shoved me, and I was I'm a kid. I'm an 18-year-old kid. My general manager shoves me, and I just say, "Fuck you, I quit," and walk out. That's not really cool. It's just quitting a job.
Yeah.
When I left Pizza Hut, I took all the food that was ready, and I stole a 2-liter and left and never came back.
Best way I ever quit a job. I used to work for the movie theater here on the coast in Biloxi. It was the what was it called? The Biloxi 10, United Artists Biloxi 10. This was back in like the late 90s, and we had gotten a new boss. When I got hired there, it was a complete different like management crew. And then over like the next 2 years, like they fired all the managers and and got new people in there, like company people,
Yeah.
So I got passed up for a promotion like 4 times that people that were not even qualified for were getting the position. I'm like, I've been here for 2 years, busting my ass, doing everything asked of me, and I get passed up for promotion by favoritism, basically. And so on July 4th, 1998, I think, I walked in. It was like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I worked like the two to close shift, which was like 2 to midnight, I think, or whenever the last movie got done showing. I walked in and I was like, looked at all the managers, walked in the office because I was a floor manager at the time. Yeah. I walked in, looked at all the managers and said, you know what? I'm going to shoot fucking fireworks, and walked out the door, and I went home and shot fireworks for the rest of the night.
That's that's something better to do than working.
Thing was, I used to love working for the movie theater. That was a great job until it started to suck.
Yeah, I mean, I've never had a job that I've ever really enjoyed, and I've never had one that I tolerated until the job I work now. Like that, like I'm finally in an industry that's not fast food or retail, so I can actually not want to blow my brains out every single day. I go to work and I'm like, this isn't the worst.
When I was a projectionist at the movie theater, those were the best grades I ever had in college, because literally, like, you do like maybe 15 minutes of work a shift, and the rest of the time you're just sitting there doing nothing. So unless, something breaks. So most of the time you're just sitting there doing nothing. Most of them just sit and watch movies, but I would just sit up there and study, do my homework. I had really good grades for like a year when I worked there.
I wish I had that luxury. But, dude, we should probably play the music and start the show, dude.
Yeah, well, we've already been going for 17 minutes, but I'll go ahead and play it. You want to go ahead and do
that's a good preface.
Yeah, well, go ahead and do the ad read, and then I'll play the music.
All right, dude. Well, this podcast is brought to you by that dirty motherfucker, BJ DeBlow. He knows what he did. He would have started his own podcast, but he's too chicken shit, so maybe he'll intern for ours. And we have to give a massive shout out to our new Patreon supporter, Mr. Mike Eveland from B-Res Coffee Company. They're also a sponsor. Get your holiday flavors from them now. And let's play some funky tunes, dude.
This is what you call professional podcasting. Welcome to the Open Micers podcast. My name is Jason Robbins.
I'm Jacob Craig, and tonight it's raining. It's raining real bad.
We're supposed to have a guest tonight, but apparently wires got crossed.
Yeah, look, I usually...
It's Jacob's fault, so let's just
take fault
on him.
I usually take fault when a guest doesn't show up. I don't feel like taking fault for this one, man, because, he was very responsive. He seemed into it. He said he was going to be here. I gave him the Zoom link and everything, gave him the time. And you know what? If he doesn't want to come, I don't fault him for that. That's fine. But I did everything I could do.
Yeah, so what do you think I should keep the beginning 17 minutes of the show where it is?
For sure.
Oh, all right. Well, that's all I'll do.
Yeah, just keep it there, and a lot of podcasts do that. Like Your Mom's House, they do a whole thing before they do their music or whatever.
Okay.
But yeah, man. So with the 40 minutes we have, hopefully my power doesn't go out again. We could talk about some Halloween movies, man.
I'm down.
The season is upon us.
What have you been watching so far? Because so far we have watched. We went on a me and Angelina. We went on a Scream spree. We watched the first 3 Scream movies. We watched. We've been watching the new Chucky series on USA Sci-Fi. Of course, I watched Halloween 3, and I'm going to watch it, 2 or 3 more times.
Yeah, I mean, you
this
don't
weekend.
have to do that to yourself.
Watched the new Halloween Kills movie.
I haven't seen it yet. I haven't had a chance to go to the theaters.
Yeah, after you do it, go over, and after you watch that, go and listen to our Halloween Kills roundtable over at the Nerd Cave Retro Show, which we had former guest Mr. Wally Phelps and Mr. Joey Image, the wrestler extraordinaire, on the show talking about Halloween. That was fun. Spoilerific, so go watch it first before you do that.
Yeah, I could always use like a good podcast to listen to when I shit, but that's what they're good for, dude. You know how many people we're talking to shitting right now? 100% of the people listening.
Probably. So if you're
They're all
shitting
shitting.
right now, I hope you're having a good shit.
And I hope, you're disciplined enough to not pinch your turds. I hope that you get it all out with just one contraction, and then you have a clean wipe.
Yeah.
And
that's the key.
I wish good upon you.
The clean wipe, because there's nothing worse than you think you're done. Like it's a nice, clean separation of poop from butt. And then you go to wipe, and it's like there's a brown crayon up there. You're just, or a stuck turd up there, and you're just wiping off the end of it. You're just like, I'm just gonna die here in the bathroom. I'm never gonna be able to leave.
I'm somewhat known for my egregious shits, and I haven't had a solid bowel movement in I don't know how long. So when I shit, it's just all over the cheeks, dude. It's on the outside of the cheeks. It splatters. And so I got to clean up my outside cheeks first. That's step one. Clean up the outside cheeks and then clean up the crack. And then I hate, like, when I think I'm done, I go deeper, like, into my butthole, and there's still just, like, I struck oil. It's just still, it's still everywhere inside my butthole. I haven't even, so that's why it takes me, like, 30 minutes to shit. I take a 2-minute shit, and then I wipe for 28 minutes.
Have you thought about just jumping in the shower afterwards? Don't even bother wiping. Just jump in the shower. Scrub
but
up.
I like the time to myself. I don't get a lot of time to myself. Listen to a nice podcast. I can't really do anything while I'm shitting. I can't work on anything. So I'm just going to, relax and enjoy myself. I do think I have a hemorrhoid, though. I really do think I have a hemorrhoid, because now whenever I wipe, it's my bloody Valentine, if you know what I mean. So
maybe, I don't know if that's a hemorrhoid or it might be butt cancer, but you might want to go get that checked out.
Dude, don't convince me I have butt cancer, okay? Because I don't. I handle my problems like
if you
a
did,
real
we
man.
could sympathize people into more listeners for the show.
I guess go to butt cancer meetings and be like, "Hey guys, I have a podcast. We talk about butt cancer."
We could do a fundraiser. Be like, support the show and help Jacob's butt cancer medical bills.
Yeah, I got a butthole tumor. I think I'm gonna tackle this the way that any real man handles any problem, and I'm gonna ignore it until it goes away.
Yeah.
So I'm probably going to have this hemorrhoid until I die.
Probably.
And no one is ever going to look inside my asshole.
Just try to push it back in. Just
Yeah, I don't know. Dude, my fingers are going nowhere near that thing. Nowhere near it. Hardly even with toilet paper on.
Do we have any listeners left after this lively discussion?
Jason, we have more listeners now. This is what the people have been waiting to hear about.
Jacob's hemorrhoid.
My hemorrhoid. I should name it. What should I name my hemorrhoid?
Henry
the hemorrhoid?
Yeah.
Hermione the hemorrhoid. Anyways, yeah, that's something we have in common is I watched Scream and Scream 2 for the very first time this Halloween.
Really?
And yeah, and I'm lucky enough that they were made so long ago. Like, some movies are such classics that like what happens, but they were made so long ago where like no one really talks about it anymore. Yeah. So I actually didn't know who the killers were.
Yeah.
So I was very lucky to be able to watch those two movies not knowing who the killers were. It was such a good like satire, murder, mystery slasher with lots of blood and gore and Henry
So you
Winkler
got the point of the movie.
Yeah, I got it, dude.
I was going to ask, like, you're from a younger generation. I was going to ask how the movie held up and if you got the point of the movie.
I think it gets better with time because it's even better satire now.
Yeah.
Like, and it's not satire like Scary Movie, where it's all like obvious comedy. It's like offhanded remarks about this is what would happen in a horror movie. Like that's an excellent way to make movies. Well, they are making another Scream movie, so I hope that they do more of that with the new one they're making.
Well, they still do those tropes in horror movies.
Yeah.
So all those tropes they're making fun of still hold true today.
Yeah. Yeah, and I wish someone would make a movie like that, but with like all of the paranormal movies
I was
now, because
literally just thinking that.
there's hardly any slashers left. Like
Yeah.
there's not really new slasher horror movies coming out,
Well,
but they're all paranormal.
I feel like paranormal activity, like all the found footage type of that genre, I think it's already kind of come to an end because it's so oversaturated.
Yeah, I mean, the
much
found
like
footage
the
and
slasher
stuff is.
genre was in the 80s. Like it got to the point where it was just ridiculous.
But you look at the horror movies coming out now that had good success, and you have The Curse of La Llorona, or whatever. I shouldn't have even tried to pronounce that. Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. It's all like supernatural horror movies. The Conjuring. You know, it's you don't have any horror movies about this is, you know, just people and this could happen to
well,
you.
that's sort of the new thing now is the supernatural, because it to me it feels like it all kind of started with, like you said, The Conjuring, the Babadook, and the Netflix series the House on Haunted Hill. Is that what it's called? That series,
The Haunting of Hill House.
Yeah, Haunting
of Hill House.
Yeah, that was a really good series, and I was like, man, this is like the genre that I like, because it's so like unreal, but it's still pretty scary, like because of the atmosphere and like I don't know, it's just that's what I like.
Yeah, I wish they made more horror movies that were realistic, and I know that, you know, it being unrealistic is kind of what makes it scary to a lot of people, but I'm not going to be scared unless this could really happen to me in real life.
Yeah.
Like I want a horror movie that's like Scream, where these are real people trying to kill real people, and they're dressing up like this, and no one believes this character that someone's trying to kill her. I want more of that shit, because that's what's scary to me.
Yeah, we were watching something the other night, and we were talking about that, how the more realistic kind of horror movies. I don't remember what we were watching now.
What's funny to me, dude, is people used to call Contagion a sci-fi horror movie.
Yeah.
And now Contagion happened, dude.
A little too close to home with that one.
Yeah. Isn't that funny that, like, in 2011, everyone was like, this is science fiction. This could never happen.
Yeah.
And then the exact thing that happened in Contagion happened in real life.
Yeah. I know.
I was just thinking about that. I've been watching Eli Roth's History of Horror on AMC, and they showed like clips of Contagion because they did a whole thing about apocalypse horror. Yeah. And then Contagion, that the disease essentially brought on the apocalypse. And
that's kind of my genre, is apocalypse horror, like The Mist. They remade The Stand, but honestly, I got like 3 episodes in. I was like, this is not very good. But The Stand book, holy crap, that book scared the crap out of me.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of horror series, honestly. Like I like a good horror movie. I'm not gonna.
Don't ever watch the Mist TV series. It will heavily disappoint you. Plus, it was canceled before it was finished. So.
Yeah, and it's like, you know, you can only do so much to scare somebody within an hour. Like it's gonna be all jump scares, you know. But I really like. What was I gonna say? I don't remember. What you got, Jason?
So, you've been watching a lot of stuff that I've recommended to you. So have you gotten to watch things like Evil Dead 2 or Army of Darkness, things like that?
So you want to know something funny? I've seen every Evil Dead movie except Evil Dead 2.
Really?
Because I haven't been able to find it anywhere. It's not streaming. They don't show it on TV.
Hold on. Let me go to justwatch.com.
I've watched Army of Darkness. Army of Darkness is really good.
Yeah. All right,
and I watched the first Evil Dead, but I haven't seen the second one. I even watched the reboot, Jason Robbins.
Evil Dead 2 is... You can stream it right now on HBO Max.
I don't have that shit, dude. Am I made of money?
You can rent it pretty much everywhere. Even on YouTube. It's $1.99 on YouTube.
Shit, I ain't got no $1.99.
I don't know. Evil Dead 2 is basically the horror movie that got me into horror movies.
Yeah. What was the first horror movie you ever watched? I'm trying to think of what mine is. I don't know.
I can tell you the first movie. Actually, I think it is classified as a horror movie now. Let me go to IMDb just to make sure. But I saw my aunt took me to see it in the theater, and it fucked me up till I was 13 years old. Like I slept with the lights on till I was 13 years old.
I think I know what this is. Can I guess?
Yes.
Is it Gremlins?
Yes, it is.
I knew it because you fucking hate Gremlins.
I fucking hate that movie. And if I ever meet Steven Spielberg, I'm going to give him a big hug for all the movies that I love, but I'm also going to punch him in the balls for Gremlins.
Did he do Gremlins?
Yeah, well, he produced it. Gremlins, Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, and one other movie I think he did around the same time. Those are the movies that are the reason PG-13 was created. Poltergeist. Because of Poltergeist, Ooh. Gremlins, and Indiana Jones. Gremlins is it considered horror? I think it is considered a horror movie now.
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
But I also remember watching what I just mentioned, Poltergeist, on TV when I was a kid. Poltergeist scared the living crap out of me as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
That movie's still pretty scary as an adult.
Yeah. The first time I watched it, I wasn't blown away. I don't know if it holds up after you've been desensitized by more,
I don't know if it's so
hardcore.
much that it's scary. It's just creepy.
Yeah. Yeah, it was creepy. It's a creepy movie. It's still a classic, though. I still enjoy watching it. I get some sort of enjoyment out of watching it, but it's not being scared, Yeah.
It's just one of those movies that's unsettling. Like, there are no jump scares or anything like that in it. It's just one of those movies that, like, after you watch it, you just have a weird feeling for, like, a day or two. Where you're just like, ugh. Like, you can't really shake it off. It's like, I don't know, it just kind of sticks with you.
The first, I guess, horror movie that I remember watching that, like, traumatized me was Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters?
The reason that I don't like Ghostbusters as an adult is because I watched it when I was too young. And I wasn't supposed to be watching it. My brother left it on his TV in his room and
Which
then
part
left his
scared
room.
you?
I walked in on the part where the fucking thing is coming through Sigourney Weaver or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Like the most hardcore part of the movie. And that's all I saw, and I was like, "Holy shit!"
We did a commentary track for the Derek Diamond Experience last night. We did Ghostbusters, and we were actually talking about that. How this movie is the perfect blend of comedy and horror, and the horror elements in the movie are pretty horrific. I mean, there's some scary shit in that movie, especially if you're a kid. Like I remember seeing that movie in the theater as a kid. Like I loved it. I fell in love with the movie, but God, that librarian at the beginning of the movie, I remember scared the hell out of me when I was a kid.
Yeah, and this happened, by the way, when I was maybe between 4 and 6 years old.
Yeah, it's a little too young to be watching Ghostbusters.
Yeah, this was like real to me. and oftentimes, movies that have scarred me were in this situation where my brother just left his room and left the fucking movie on and just left the house. And then I just walk into his room because I'm like, oh, his TV's on. I'm going to see what's on TV. And I did the same thing with Gremlins. Gremlins scared the shit out of me too when I was a kid.
Okay. Which Friday the 13th movie was it that you talk about? Is it this that where he smashes the chick up against the tree and the sleeping bag? Which one is that?
Part 7, The New Blood.
And that's the one where at the beginning of the movie he comes back to life because they stick a lightning rod in him when he's in the grave.
I think so, yeah.
If that's the same one, that's another one that my aunt took me to see in the theater, and I was way too young to be watching that movie. And I remember that scene that you talk about. Like, that scene is seared in my brain when he smashes her against the tree in the sleeping bag, because I was just like, as a little kid, I'm like, that is the most, other than like burning to death, like how horrific of a death must that be, to be like locked inside of a sleeping bag and you just get smashed against a freaking
get
tree.
picked up by your feet and hit against the tree. Dude, the first time before I sat down and watched the movie, they just showed like a clip of it on like some kind of other show. And it was just this isolated clip of just Jason walking up to this zipped up sleeping bag and just throwing this lady's head against the tree. I laughed so hard I put it in a joke. It was so fucking funny to me.
But see, I remember that. I remember nothing else from that movie except that scene and the beginning when they used the lightning rod to bring him back to life. Like, those two scenes are the only thing I remember from that movie.
Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty iconic kill. I mean, that's one of Jason's more iconic.
Pretty
kills.
creative. If you're going to murder somebody, that's a pretty creative way to do it. They'll remember that.
Yeah. What do you think is the most iconic murder in a horror movie?
Oh, my God. Most iconic murder in a horror movie. God, I'd have to think about that. I mean, that's up there. The sleeping bag is definitely up there in probably the top 5.
Recency bias, the whole opening scene with Drew Barrymore and Scream. I mean, come on, that's been spoofed so many times.
Well, another one that's pretty visceral, and even though it's not a horror movie, I think it might even be classified as a horror movie these days, but Robocop, when Peter Weller gets killed, like as a human gets killed by Clarence Boddicker, and they like, first off, he blows his hand off with a shotgun, and then he gets just riddled with bullets. Is probably one of the most visceral, horrifying death scenes in any movie. Like, I don't know how they got away with that and with just an R rating.
Ooh, also a good one. And I mean, if we're gonna talk about, I'm thinking to bring up a Rob Zombie movie. Rob Zombie's opening up a whole other can of worms because that guy.
Oh, I tell you another one, an iconic kill. Yeah, it's in the Dream Warriors. Is that Nightmare 3 or 4?
It's 3.
3.
Where it comes to the TV?
No, well that's a pretty good one because he's like, "Welcome to prime time, bitch," like that.
Yeah,
but
and he improvised that too.
The one that gets me to this day, because I hate needles, is when his hands turn into heroin needles, and he sticks the chick in the arms, and she's got like the little mouths, like where her track marks are. It's so gross. It's so gross.
There could be a lot of good Freddy Krueger kills in there. Like also when he pulls Johnny Depp through the bed in the first one.
Did you watch the Movies That Made Us, the new season where they talk about that, how they made that scene?
I haven't had the time, no.
Well, you know, earlier in the movie, they have the death scene of one of the girls, and you know, like she's like all up on the ceiling and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, they had built this room that was like rotating, and they used it for that, and then they used it again for the Johnny Depp scene, and they basically turned the room upside down, and they had this huge like 1,000-gallon like drum of fake blood. And this guy up on top that was like opening the spigot, and there was so much blood coming out that it like caused, like, it was sloshing everywhere, and then it just like broke, and like everything just got so like destroyed by fake blood. Like, you just have to watch it. It's a really good documentary.
Yeah, I've seen all of it except for the newest episodes.
It's a really good season.
Yeah, I was going to talk about too, and I don't even know if this is really a death because I don't know if he died in the movie. I'm sure he did, but in House of a Thousand Corpses, Chris Hardwick's character.
Oh yeah.
When they walk through and he's just opened and he's still alive.
Yeah.
And they're like working on him and shit, and he's like, "What's happening?" Like, that's horrifying.
You know, when I first saw that movie in the theater, I was pretty freaked out by that movie.
Yeah.
Because there was so much hype behind it. Because it took that movie 2 years to come out. Because they were just like, it's the worst, like, most horrifying movie ever made. So there was so much hype behind it. And it came out, and yeah, it's pretty horrifying. But I went back and watched it again probably 3 years ago, roughly. And it's pretty hokey these days. Like, it's pretty campy.
Yeah, and I mean, that's the risk you run when you use certain effects, because it's that, you know, aspect of filmmaking evolves so much in just a decade's time.
Well, it's such a I don't want to say rip off, but it's definitely a I don't know, like it's kind of a love letter to like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Yeah. I watched that a few years ago for the first time in like 20 years. Like I saw it once when I was a teenager, and I was like, man, this movie's fucking crazy. And then I watched it again a few years ago. I had nightmares about Leatherface for like a week after watching it.
Yeah, Leatherface is one of the better slashers. And I really dig that one because it's based on a true story too.
Yeah, so. Ed Gein.
Yeah.
He's like an amalgamation of like a couple of different serial killers. But just if you want to get freaked out and you've never seen it, go watch the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I mean, the remake in like 2004, I think it was okay. It's pretty graphic, but the original is like, it's just creepy. Like, there's no blood to be found in the movie. Like, it's you don't see any blood, but man, it's like your imagination just does worse things for you when you're watching that movie, because it just feels so visceral and real. I mean, just like the rawness of it is it's almost like watching a documentary, and it's horrifying.
Yeah. Do you remember the Wrong Turn movies?
That was with Elijah Dushku, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Yes, I think I saw the first one.
They just did a reboot of it, and I watched the reboot.
Oh, yeah.
And it was pretty bad, man.
It's got Charlotte Vega and Adane Bradley. I don't know who they are. The original was in 2003 with Elijah Dushku.
Yeah, the star of the real, like, the only name that's in the reboot is Matthew Modine.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it's like they do stuff, and this scares the shit out of me because this is something that really could happen. These kids are hiking on the Appalachian Trail. They take a wrong turn, and they find this community of mountain people who just live like savages.
Yeah, I can't do that kind of. I can't do that. It's a little too close to home. Yeah. If you travel too far into the woods, like there is no telling what kind of people live in there.
And just the whole thing of like being kidnapped and just not being able to do anything, like no matter what you say, you're powerless. And they're like cutting out these kids' tongues. They blind one of them with a spoon. And this girl, the leader, is like, "You're gonna be my wife." So she's just getting raped for a while.
Jesus.
And
I can't do that. I'm not gonna watch that.
Yeah, I wouldn't. But and she finally escapes, and then the people leave the woods and pose as regular people to find her again. And thankfully, she kills all these fuckers.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of hardcore shit.
If you want to watch something that kind of is sort of like not necessarily a parody. Well, yeah, I guess you could call it a parody, but it's a comedy horror movie that kind of turns that whole like redneck hillbilly killer genre on its head. Is Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
I've heard of that.
Dude, you have to watch Tucker and Dale. It's so good. It's about these two rednecks that like buy a summer home up in the hills to fix up, and they're just out there like they're just two nice dudes, like best friends. They go up there for the summer, and they're like, yeah, this is gonna be our summer vacation home. And like while they're out there, there's these college kids that are up there too, and they keep accidentally killing themselves, and Tucker and Dale get blamed for it. So it's like, dude, and like then like they start hunting Tucker and Dale because they think they're like killers, but they keep accidentally killing themselves one by one. It's so crazy good. Like, you have to watch it. That's my big recommendation for this week. Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
Yeah, I definitely need to watch that. It sounds like I would be really into it.
And who is in it? It's got Alan Tudyk. You know who Alan Tudyk is?
Yeah, love Alan Tudyk.
Yeah, Tucker and Dale versus, and Tyler Labine is in it too.
No idea who that is.
He is. You know who Tyler Labine is. He's been in 1,000 things. Let me look it up.
So is Alan Tudyk.
Oh yeah, but Tyler Labine has been in. He was in, of course, Tucker and Dale, Rise of Planet of the Apes. Why is this not letting me look at other movies? Let's see, Super Troopers 2. Does a lot of voice work. He was in the X-Files. If you look up his picture, you will definitely know who he is. Like, you've seen this dude in 1,000. He's been in so much stuff.
I'm gonna look up his picture right now. But
have you seen Zack and Miri make a porno?
No, but I've seen plenty of pornos. So
he was in that.
The one movie that I have to watch every single Halloween, Shaun of the Dead.
Oh yeah. If you like Shaun of the Dead, then you'll definitely like Tucker and Dale versus Evil. They're sort of in that same sort of satire, parody like genre.
Jason, I've never seen this man in my entire life.
Really?
I just want you to know that. Yeah.
Well, he's like one of the funniest people, like as an actor, like just great comedic actor. And of course, you know that Alan Tudyk is definitely knows how to be funny. So go watch it, please.
But Shaun of the Dead is great to watch this time of year because I love Edgar Wright comedies so much. Edgar Wright is an amazing director, and it's still part of the season because, zombie apocalypse.
Yeah.
But it's also fucking hilarious.
I love that movie so much. I haven't watched it in a while. I need to watch that again.
I would like to think that Nick Frost's character would be like me if I turned into a zombie, where like the movie starts where he's just on the couch playing PS2, then he gets turned into a zombie and they just lock him in the shed and he's just still in there playing PS2. Like, that would be me if I got turned into a zombie.
Yeah. I think, I don't know. That whole genre, like that trilogy. Have you seen At World's End? At World's End was pretty good too. I mean, they're not as good as Shaun of the Dead, but they're still pretty damn good.
Yeah. What I have recorded right now off of TV that I've never seen before is Hot Fuzz. I'm really excited to watch Hot Fuzz.
Yeah, it's okay. Like I said, it's not as good as Shaun of the Dead, but it's definitely worth a watch.
I'm literally just watching it for the meme of Nick Frost cocking the shotgun and saying shame.
Yeah.
That's the only reason I'm watching the movie.
All right, we're getting to the end of the show for our Halloween episode here. We're really sorry that our guest couldn't make it tonight. If we can reschedule him, we'll have him back and try to get our times fixed so we can actually have him here.
It's definitely not my fault.
It's everybody tweet at Jacob C. Craig.
Joke's on you. I don't even use Twitter.
Or go to Jacob Craig Comedy on Facebook.
I don't use that either. I'm unreachable, ladies and gentlemen.
Drive up to Van Cleve, Mississippi, and just stick your head out of the window and yell, Jacob Craig, you suck. And that's what you got to do.
And and I won't know what it's about because that could be literally anybody about anything. So, yet again, I win, Jason.
Well, happy Halloween, everybody. Hope you enjoyed this episode because this was impromptu Halloween episode. So here you go. This is it. This is the Halloween episode.
Title of the episode, impromptu Halloween episode. Yeah. Anyways, I'm going to talk about stand-up because I don't know if you know this, but I'm really funny. So I'm going to be opening for Mo Alexander November 19th at the Juke Joint. Tickets on sale at landmassentertainment.com. I host an open mic every Tuesday at the Juke Joint as well at 8 p.m. in Ocean Springs, Mississippi. Last night was not a good representation of how those shows have been going. Last night was the worst show we've ever had there. There were human steroids. There were people just yelling for no fucking reason.
Wonderful.
But usually it's a really, really good show. So if you like comedy and you're local, come out and support that.
Awesome.
And yeah, that's it.
I don't really have anything planned right now. No shows booked. But if you want to listen to a lot of stuff I'm doing, just go check out Nerd Cave Retro on Twitter. And also go check out the Derek Diamond Experience. Been doing some commentary tracks over there for his podcast.
And Koosman.
Yeah. So that's it for this week. Thank you for joining us, everybody. I'm going to play our music here. If you would like to email us at openmikerspodcast@gmail.com. We're at openmikers on Twitter and the Instagrams. And also, OM Podcast takes you to our Patreon page where you can support the show. Huge thank you to Mike Evelyn for supporting us and Mr. BJ DeBlow. And we will see you guys next week. Soup. All right, I'm going to end this stream. Thank you for watching, and I'll be back in 30 minutes for Nerd Cave Retro.